But the business name is Skin Specialists of Fayetteville.
Okay.
And so the Med Spa Skin Specialists of Fayetteville, the school is Skin Specialist School of Aesthetics.
Gotcha. Okay. And can you tell us more what your business is about?
Sure. So the Med Spa is designed essentially as a all-in-one facility for everyone who is interested in receiving aesthetic treatments. So we have estheticians who offer things like facials, chemical peels, lashes, brows, and then we have our medical aesthetic side, which offers more things like Botox, fillers, radiofrequency microneedling, more intense therapies or treatments to really help reach their skincare goals.
Okay. And what first inspired you to step into this industry?
So my startup story is kind of unique because my background is I am a nurse anesthetist. So I provide anesthesia in operating rooms. So I work at the hospital here, I work in some surgery centers, and I had gotten out of the military, I was working as a civilian, and COVID hit. And I was working as a kind of as a part-time in multiple locations. So I was furloughed because we weren't doing as many like elective surgeries. We were only doing emergency things. We were trying to limit the amount of time people were in hospitals. So I was furloughed and I wasn't working that much. So an opportunity was kind of presented to me to do some training in aesthetics, and I knew nothing about aesthetics. Prior to doing this, I had never even gotten Botox before. So I was like, well, I enjoy anesthesia. I enjoy doing, nerve blocks and spinals and things with needles in my normal job. So this sounds fun. Why not? I was like, worst case scenario, I'll know how to do Botox and I can do my girlfriend's and my own Botox. So I did this training. Started treating my friends kind of talked to other friends, hosted a few like get-togethers where I met a lot of people, and it just kind of developed like this pyramid.
Okay.
So I ended up, after doing kind of in people's homes for a little while, I ended up renting a space downtown and had like a brick and mortar. Grew out of that space exceptionally fast. And at that point in time, I had people who were like estheticians or other injectors asking if they could come like work with me. So that's when the location we're in now kind of blossomed, and we moved locations, opened up this space with multiple treatment rooms, and started hiring people, and it just kind of grew. So I still work as a CRNA in the operating room. I love that because I don't have to talk there. People just go to sleep, so it's great. But this just kind of continued to grow, and it was actually, ended up enjoying more of the business side more than actually doing the injectables. So I don't really even inject or treat people anymore. I have enjoyed growing the business to the point to where now I'm in school getting my MBA because I really enjoyed learning how business works.
Yeah. And how was the whole process of opening up the space?
It was a learn as I go sort of thing. I definitely had been I'd been a hospital employee since I was 18, or military. I knew nothing about running a business, starting a business. So it was a kind of learn as I go thing. Figure out I'm doing something wrong and adjust fire and do it a different way. But now finally 5 years into it, starting to get the hang of it.
I got you. Is there something that you would have done differently?
Maybe not. I hate to say that I wouldn't have grown as fast because at the end of the day, I think the growth that we've seen in 5 years is really good, but so there were some painful parts in there because it was very stressful. So maybe taking it a little bit slower.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Congratulations on winning. It was Best of the Best, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Thank you.
Was it the first time or was that the second?
That is our fourth year winning.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
So you won it the second year or first year that you opened?
Our second year.
Second year.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that was pretty fast.
Yes, yes.
That's good. That's good. What were some of the biggest challenges you faced starting out?
Starting out, some of the biggest challenges I faced was just not understanding how to the finance side of running a business. So managing payroll, all of a sudden, I've got 6 or 7 employees and we're trying to manage, revenue and money going out and making sure we're covering payroll. And we were very, very blessed that like we always were able to at least make enough money to cover all the bills at the end of the day. But learning that, so it took 4 years of owning this business to start actually paying myself a salary. And so learning how to manage money, because it's a lot different on the business side than it is personal. You think that all your personal bills are on auto pay and you're doing good, but it's a lot different on the business side. So yeah.
And what would be like some advice that you would give to somebody who wants to open up a business?
Oh, do some research. It is not easy. It is not easy. I wake up at 4 a.m. and the first thing I do is I'm on my phone, either working on our social media or working on, events we've got coming up, or working on how can we, take our revenue points from last month and increase them this month. So understand how much work it truly takes to put into a business for it to be successful.
How did you come up with a name, and what does it represent to you?
So Skin Specialist is actually not our original name.
Okay.
Going back to the idea of know what you're doing when you're starting a business, my first name for the business was Skin Savvy. So when you register a business, North Carolina will check the name, and North Carolina will be like, oh yeah, cool, you're good with that name. So what I didn't know is you also should check federal trademarks. So we were Skin Savvy Aesthetics for the first 3.5 years, and then I got served with a summons to change my name immediately because I was infringing upon someone's trademark. So yes, had to work through my attorney, go back and forth with the other business, and essentially we ended up changing businesses or business names to save myself a lot of heartache. So what I did was, because we were Skin Savvy, so S and S, I wanted to try to keep my logo the same. I wanted to try to keep it as similar as I could. So I went back and forth through a lot of different things, and we ended up coming up with Skin Specialists because that's kind of what we do here. Whether it's our injectors or our estheticians, their goal is to be everyone's skin specialist and learn their skin in their unique way to kind of help their clients. So, and then of Fayetteville, obviously, to let people know where we are.
Nice. What's been your proudest milestone so far?
I would say my proudest milestone would be actually over at the school. I have now graduated 3 classes of licensed estheticians, 2 of which now work for me. So it kind of is like a full circle, and it makes me really proud to know that not only we're building a program that are helping these girls, be successful out in their aesthetic career, but they also enjoyed being a part of my brand so much that they wanted to continue to work with me. So that has probably been one of the most rewarding. One of our graduates is an esthetician here, and one of my graduates is an instructor over at my school.
Gotcha, nice. What is your overall goal with the school?
My overall goal really is just to kind of grow the brand as a whole. I would love to see Skin Specialists pop up in other areas eventually. The school, really, my goal with the school was to build a program that genuinely taught people how to be successful. Like going back to your earlier question, you can know how to do a trade, but if you don't know how to run a business, you're going to run it into the ground. So we teach our students a lot of extras. Like we have built classes to teach them how to market themselves on social media. One of the first things my students do is get professional headshots done so they can use that to market themselves. We have like guest speakers come in and talk to them about how to market yourself on Google, business credit. So we teach, the outside stuff that they're not going to get in a lot of the other programs that can teach you how to not just do aesthetics, but to be successful in it.
How do you stay creative and ahead of trends in an industry that's always evolving?
Constantly researching, constantly online, seeing what is changing. Aesthetics is a lot like medicine in the fact that it's backed by studies and research, and so nothing is ever the same. I just trained in aesthetics 5 years ago, and there's already so many things that have changed in it. So I really preach to both my staff here and the students to like educate yourself. Never just learn one thing and just go with it, because things are always changing and growing and adapting. So Yeah, just really constantly seeing what's out there. We attend a lot of conferences, national like aesthetic conferences, and I give all of my employees here money to put towards their own continuing education, just to make sure that everybody's always learning what the latest knowledge is out there.
Nice. Where do you find inspiration, inside or outside the beauty world?
I would say something that's really inspiring is the testimonies that we get from our clients that have started to come in, seeing our providers here, and they get to see their own changes over time with their skin, and they get to feel happy and confident in themselves, and they tell their friends. One of our biggest ways of we get new clients in is word of mouth from our older clients. So just seeing the happiness that we are able to give these clients is really inspiring.
Nice. What does a day in the life look like for you?
Whew. So a day in my life is I usually wake up around 4 a.m.
Okay.
I try to go walk in my neighborhood, so some sort of exercise. And then if I'm working at the hospital or one of the surgery centers, I'm usually at work by 6:30. Usually I'm working in the operating room until 3. From there, I leave, and my usual route is to the school first to handle any administrative things I have going on over there. Then I come by the spa, handle anything here, and then I become a mom. So my daughter plays volleyball with like 2 or 3 games a week. So either, driving to her school or an away game, attending one of those. And then usually in the evenings, I'm working on my schoolwork because I'm currently in school working towards my MBA. And then the little bit of time left in the end of the day, trying to spend some sort of time with my family before I rack out in bed.
Gotcha. Gotcha. How do you balance everything out?
Oh man, some days are harder than others. I will say I am a stickler for a schedule. If I showed you my schedule, you would think I was crazy. My schedule is like that thick. But I keep a track of everything. I call it my Bible. So I try to schedule my life out as far in advance as I can so I can fill in those gaps as I can. But just sticking to a schedule, sticking to a routine, I am definitely a creature of habit. So yeah.
Okay. What is one misconception people often have about beauty professionals?
I think the biggest misconception is that what they see today on Instagram and TikTok, and they think that that's what estheticians do, or that's what a beauty professional is. So we've had plenty of students come in and they realize the work and dedication it takes to genuinely work towards gaining that license, and they're like, oh, this is not what I thought it was going to be. Okay. So what you see on TikTok, some influencer who's getting paid to say and do the things that they're doing is literally not what it's genuinely about. It's really based on science and understanding, and basing everything you do off of research. And some people don't want to put in that hard work, but it's a hard work. I say all the time that it is very similar to medicine, so it's treating people, you can injure people, and you have to take that stuff really serious.
Yeah, definitely. For someone listening who wants to start their own business, well, I already answered this, my bad. What mindset shift has been most important for your growth?
I have always been a short-term goal person. So like going through nursing school, going to anesthesia school in the military, literally the way I got through that program was like short-term, make it to Friday. As a business owner running a business, you really have to look at long-term goals, and that's really difficult when you're a short-term, instant gratification type person. So that would be probably it, is just learning how to set goals long-term, looking at like 5-year plan, 10-year plan, and setting things in motion to help yourself get there.
Gotcha. What are some things that you did to kind of go from like the short term to the long term goals?
I would say probably some of the biggest things is like readjusting how a lot of things like in the spa, we've readjusted like our memberships, our packages, our pricing. And when you change things like that, people initially, especially if those pricing is going up or, things are changing that might affect, how much money they were spending. Initially, you might have some pushback, and that tends to make you want to just, stick with what you're doing. But in the long run, people realize, that they're paying for what they're worth, and just I think being patient, and realizing that it's trusting the process and letting it work over time, and eventually it's going to help you succeed.
Gotcha. If you could go back and give your younger self some advice, what would it be?
That's a tough one. I would say if I were to go back and give my younger self some advice, it would be stick to what you're doing. It's going to pay off. There were a lot of painful moments through all of it, through nursing, military, post-military life. There was definitely some difficult times, and during those times you wonder if you've made the right decisions, if you're doing the right thing, but really I love where I'm at now. I love where life is. I love what I do, and I wouldn't change any of it.
Gotcha. When did you realize, when was that aha moment when you realized you're doing what you wanted to do?
When I, say for instance, today, I am able to schedule, if I don't want to work at the hospital and I want to have a day to where I do things for the business, or if I want to take a day off for myself and go have a lunch date, or drive and take a long weekend, or go, to my daughter's event, I'm able to schedule everything. So going back to my neurotic schedule, but it's nice to be able to, I'm going to work this day, this day, this day, I'm going to have this day off. And it's nice to have complete control of your schedule in your life.
Where do you see yourself in 5 years from now?
5-year plan for me would be to both businesses still running very successfully, continuing to grow. I would love to eventually move actually to Florida. I am a Florida girl at heart. But it really depends on, I have 2 girls, one already in college and one that'll be in college in that point in time. So it depends on ultimately what their life plans are. But yeah, I would love to, the businesses have grown, they're doing great, maybe have branched out and we have different locations, and I am able to work when I want to work, where I want to work.
Nice, nice. Do you have any exciting projects coming up that you want to share with us?
I do have one potential project. It is in the planning phase. I actually have meetings next week with some companies that could help us bring the project to life, and it involves the design of a new type of a mannequin that aesthetic students can use. Okay. Right now, if you saw the mannequin, it's like a lump of rubber. It looks like nothing. There's no definition, no shape to it. So my goal is to design a new mannequin that is more lifelike, more human-like, to touch, feels more like human skin versus a lump of thick, cheap rubber, and that they can use it for multiple things, truly use it to learn massage techniques, to learn lash techniques, brow techniques, and the type of silicone on it can withstand them doing treatments to it and not break down. So that is brand new, and we hope to maybe get it developed and patented and sold in the future.
Gotcha. Mm-hmm. And when people think of your brand years from now, what do you want them to remember the most?
I want them to remember that ultimately the idea behind Skin Specialist is to help people build confidence, whether that is our clients coming in the med spa door who have issues with their skin, or whether that is our students who, maybe didn't make it at a 4-year college, or maybe are, a stay-at-home mom, but they want to build their own business and have their own pathway in the aesthetics industry. That is what I want them to remember, is that we were here to support those goals and to help them build that confidence.
Got you. And anything else that you would like to say?
I I can't think of anything.
I got you. Or for the people that are watching, where can they find you, like follow you, social media stuff?
Sure. So on Instagram, you can follow me. I'm at Fayetteville's Aesthetic Boss. You can also find the med spa and the school on Instagram at Skin Specialist School or at Skin Specialist Fayetteville. And then we are also on Facebook and on TikTok.
I'm a random off the street.
You're in those scrubs.
So, how's it like working here?
I love it here. This is honestly, when I think of the culmination of my aesthetic career, this is where I've always wanted to be, and this is definitely the best place to do it. We specialize in some of everything, which is why we're called skin specialists, and we get an opportunity to learn, grow, and perform all at the same time at a super high level. So I love what we do here.
What's your favorite part about working here?
The people. I like my team. I like that we have a good time together and that we collaborate with each other based on what treatments we're doing. Somebody always has a little bit more knowledge that you can learn from. So that's probably my top. That and being able to see people every day and treat people.
Gotcha. When did you start working here?
I started working here in December of last year, December 27th. So I'm coming up on, what month is it? 10 months?
Nice. How did you hear about them?
I went to a job fair in Fayetteville at the convention center, at the Crown Convention Center, and Deanna was out there with the school. I was already an esthetician, and so I actually still came out because I saw med spa, and that's kind of where I always wanted to be. And so I took my resume, and it was up from there.
What are your future goals as far as working here?
I work here and I work over at the Skin Specialist School, so I'm also one of the instructors over there. As far as like my goals as a brand overall, it's just to continue to learn, continue to grow, continue to hone my skills so that I can treat people effectively, and just continue to enjoy what I love doing pretty much, and also make some good money for sure.
Any advice or any last words that you have?
This industry is what you make it. This industry can be lucrative or it can fall flat, but it is all according to the work that you're willing to put in and what you really want to see for yourself as far as an esthetician, because there are so many niches. And I want to be good at all of it. So pursue this career, for sure.
Play it safe, keep the feelings away. Too late, now I'm falling again. My mistake was that I even stayed. Been told the backwards, but there's nothing to say. Running in circles again and again. Served you my heart, I thought that you'd do the same. But we got too far in a losing game. Oh, gravity falls, needing you. Pull you on opposite sides of the table, so cold. The way that you hold, just touch me like I'm always coming back here. Can you feel it?